So I kind of talked about how good the new festival collection is in terms of like reprints and price. Of course, some are still high, but that's just how it is. Supply and demand, right? The Juikas, about 35 bucks. They're likely not going to go down anymore. Overall, the price has kind of settled, right? The price is kind of settled. This like cycler at 18, 19 bucks. Yeah, it's about right. And the Willister stuff is like slightly cheaper now. You know, you got the gems at around $15 each, and the new Willister at like 11. And then the reprinted like triggers, for example, these are really cheap compared to before. Draw triggers at 5, pretty insane. Crit triggers at 3, easy pickup, and the front trigger as well. And then you got things like Melty, right? Melty, very good for just in general. I think, you know, you can pick it up and not feel bad. $5 isn't gonna break the bank, and that's pretty much it. These are all the lyrical stuff that's going on. But the real winner of Festival Collection 2023 is actually Lyrical 2, right? Lyrical Booster 2 is actually insane in terms of like price. Just because, again, supply and demand, right? No one opened Lyrical 2. Lyrical 2 was a dead set on release. Look what it released. What it came out with was like 2 ride lines that no one cared about, and like 1 grade 4 Kyrie that everyone probably just bought 4 copies of and just called it a day, right? But if you think about what is included, you know, here's the was it Ortia, and then the Herminia, pretty forgotten. But then look at the other stuff here. So high rarity triggers are actually insane price. 250, 178, 222. For any person wanting to like full rarity or max rarity deck, LSRs are insane, right? But then you have even the slightly lower rarity of these triggers are the crit fronts, and the draws are here, right? With the SP versions, and people love SPs, right? People love them more than FFRs. Those have still kind of maintained. Well, looks like they've gone up market price 75, but the lowest is at like 110. Everyone needs triggers, right? Everyone needs triggers, and like people will still be willing to pay for SPs rather than LSRs, because like SPs look nice, right? They still come the nearly the full text kind of thing. You just lack. You still have the borders at the bottom. You lack the empty borders of the super high rarity, but you're not breaking the bank for them, right? You can probably buy 4 of them or 3 of them, and at the cost of like 1 LSR. But then look at the other stuff. So the Willister support that was released here, again, supply and demand, right, went up hugely in price, right? Huge in price. So Ophelia sold out 30 bucks. Remember when she was like 5? You guys, if you wanted to build a Willister and you didn't buy this like 3 months ago or like 2 months ago in May when they announced all this stuff, then I guess like that's your problem, right? But this right now, 100% sold out. The high rarity one, only 1 listing on TCG Player at $100. Lowest at $100. And I mean, if the lower rarity one is at 30 bucks, and of course, right, 100 bucks for the high rarity one doesn't seem far-fetched. You need 4 of these from a set that no one pulled, right? Pretty rip. No reprints for Ophelia as well. But then it's not only Willister that has kind of benefit from this. You look at other things like wings, right? So Fenial here, 20 bucks. 20 bucks for Fenial. You kind of need this. Kind of need this for wings. And you know, wings got the Celestial got the new support in the new set. So it has like, it's definitely better than it was before, right? And I feel like Celestial just is one of those decks that people like, even though it's like not very good. So pretty much like Liquid, right? When it was bad, but then it became good. So bad times. But yeah, this is like 20 bucks. 20 bucks for this. And then the Felty Roses support as well is 20 bucks as well. Like nearly 20 bucks. And like again, Felty Rose is one of those decks. Looks nice. People like it. Maybe not the most meta deck, but it's still priced for no reason. Again, very similar to Liquid, right? But this thing is 20 bucks, and you know, it's again supply and demand. You need like X copies of these, and they're not reprinted from a set that no one pulls. I think you need at least 4 of Fenial for Dietline. I'm not 100% sure, but you probably need 4. You probably need 4. And then the high rarity versions of these, well, the Fenial's at 75 bucks. Probably still like, it looks right from where it is. The Dietline, it's definitely probably around the same price, right? Since they're about the lower rarity is about the same price there too. So those basically anything from here is actually very, very good. If you see like a box of Lyrical, it might not be a bad idea just like randomly buy it, and you can at least get some nice hits, because it's not just these three, like, it's not about the current age, right? It's not about the current time. Think about what's coming out in the future, right? So we got the Halloween stuff that is coming out for Lyrical that is supposedly featuring 4TR and Herminia as well. And we've seen how they do it with like the old Lyrical ride line from Festival Collection. They give that dress up mechanic where it requires, like it allows you to persona ride over the old stuff. Whether you actually need the old stuff is debatable, right? It's debatable. But, you know, some of the ride lines do, while others just straight up didn't need, like Willista didn't need it. But it does give you like some speculation there on like you might need these cards, and we don't know if they're coming out or not. But if they're not coming out, then these Herminias and these like 40s might even just go up in price as well, just because there's like no stock around, especially the high rarity version. And then in terms of like even the support for like Herminia and 4TR right now, I don't think they're that high. But like Melty, for example, great generic support. That's currently low, but imagine if 4TR becomes meta, right? If 4TR becomes really, really good, then I can only imagine not only the Lyrical 2 version, but the reprint version of that will go up in price as well. Simply because, you know, it's one of those cards that you need 4 copies of. And similar to, I don't know what you need in Herminia. I think it's, is it Signe, maybe, that you need 4 copies? There's also like, I think there's also a restander or something like that, right? But basically anything that is related to Herminia and 4TR will go up in price, especially if they're not reprinted, and from Lyrical 2, right? And they're all from Lyrical 2. And if we look at what Bushin has been doing with the bad ride lines, right? They've been giving them some pretty, like, OP support in terms of just, like, power buffs. So think about some bad ride. Willista, prime example. Terrible deck. You look at the OG Willista, now the deck functions, you're like, how does this deck function back then? It didn't. It was just absolute trash. Now it's tier 1. Look at like Hexa Orb, Zorga, these kind of decks that were like pretty terrible, you know, bad decks back then. They gave them like an alternate form, Aquamarine, Zorga masks, right? Suddenly the deck becomes like OP, and then all their old stuff is like pretty relevant, right? You know, your RPD, bam, up in price. Yeah, so it just needs one card for the deck to become good again. Right? They could release a PR. Actually, I hope none of these decks have any important PRs, otherwise we're screwed. But yeah, that is just my thoughts. Lyrical 2 is actually becoming a pretty insane product. If you see any lying around, if you win a tournament, right, and you don't know what pack to pick as like a prize pack, and you can pick Lyrical 2, it might be a good idea to pick Lyrical 2. Because also, I just want to say, reprint prices for Festival Collection, even the triggers, they're low at the moment because it just got released. But it's not going to stay low forever. If there's... there are still, like, although there's a lot of doomers going on saying, you know, the game is dead, the game is not really dead, right? There's more and more players playing, it feels like. So there's going to be more demand for any Lyrical stuff that becomes good. And, you know, when more people want triggers, there's going to be less supply. And that means the triggers are going to go up. So these Festival Collection triggers, although they're low right now, expect them to go up at some points. And then, you know, these ones as well, they're already relatively high compared to the Festival one. But they're probably going to go up in price as well. Right? So that is just my thoughts on Lyrical 2. Let me know in the comments below if you think Lyrical 2 is the best set right now. If you see Lyrical 2, are you going to buy Lyrical 2? Let me know in the comments. I'll see you in the next video. All right, bye.